Sometimes, I saw in Hollywood movies, some characters will quote Confucius' famous sayings, especially when they're trying to convince people or making a joke.
China could dominate the world economy in the next decade. Confucius say, I do not think this story has much validity.
But most of those quotes are nonsense because Confucius never said those words. The internet is also full of meme pictures of Confucius sayings. I checked and found out most of them are fake. Maybe it's just for fun, but I am curious, what kind of image does Confucius have to a Westerner? Since he was quoted in movies or comedy shows many times to the public, even if those quotes are fake, is he a representative of Eastern wisdom? Is he just like the Socrates of the East, or a representative of conservative and old-fashioned? Indeed, Confucius had a profound influence on Chinese culture for thousands of years, but he was actually a loser in politics, but a master of the philosophy of life. So what did Confucius really say before? The Analects is a dialogue between Confucius and his students. Here I will introduce to you 9 maxims that Confucius really said in the Analects, which are 100% original. I hope they can inspire and help you. 1. Confucius said, people on different Tao should not make plans together. Literally, the original meaning of the word Tao here is the road. It is extended to the road of life that people walk on, that is, the ambition and goal of life they have. Confucius said, people of different aspirations or principles cannot get along together. The concept can be widely used in various interpersonal relationships such as friendship, work, investment, business, or even marriage. You don't need to waste time and energy with people who have different goals. Sometimes, people with different opinions, fields or perspectives can come together to generate new ideas. But, the different Tao mentioned by Confucius refers to the difference in core values, and the end of getting along is doomed to part ways. After all, the core values you yearn for are already different. If you insist on getting together, you will only quarrel, dislike each other, turn against each other, and even lead to unfortunate consequences. In your life, have you ever met someone who is completely unable to communicate with, or you can't understand each other at all? If so, then don't waste your time, and it's better to stay away from this kind of person decisively. Conversely, choosing wisely to be with like-minded people can make your life more comfortable. And this way can create the greatest value for each other. Especially when you start to doubt whether the other person is a worthwhile person for you, just think about this maxim of Confucius. 2. Confucius said, what you do not want done to yourself, do not do to others. Zigong, a student of Confucius, asked, is there a word that can be practiced for a lifetime? Confucius said, empathy. What you do not want done to yourself, do not do to others. If you don't know how to respect people, this is the answer. Simple and clear. We should consider how our actions will affect others. Why? Because others may do the same to you. Everyone in the world wants to be treated well, and everyone wants not to be hurt. We should put ourselves in others' shoes and be considerate. This is just the most basic bottom line when getting along with people, just not to infringe on the rights of others. Even if we cannot help others because of our limitations, at least we don't hurt others, and that's good enough. It's like a reciprocity. If everyone can do what Confucius said, the world will be fair and peaceful. 3. Confucius said, when the multitude hate a man, it is necessary to examine into the case. When the multitude like a man, it is necessary to examine into the case. People like to jump on the bandwagon. In psychology, it can reduce the pressure of personal choice. But it might not be the correct behavior. The public is not always right. We need to think independently. And think carefully before taking action. A wise man should distinguish right from wrong and not follow the crowd. 4. Confucius said, "The man of perfect virtue, wishing to be established himself, seeks also to establish others, wishing to be enlarged himself, he seeks also to enlarge others." To be able to consider others by what is night in ourselves, this may be called the art of virtue. The simplest example is like playing basketball in the NBA. A great star, in addition to improving his own skills, can also make his teammates better, finally win the championship, and even use his influence to change the world. Many people can follow his example. This is the best result. But if you only look out for yourself, maybe you can still reach your goal too, but with a higher chance of getting a bad result. On the journey of life, we always have our own goals to achieve. Although we are just ordinary people, not perfect saints, within our ability, we can set ourselves as a good example, and then influence others, and that is considered a virtue. 5. Confucius said, "If he sets strict standards for himself and requires little from others, he will stay clear of resentment." What Confucius said sounds naive, but it is very practical. Whenever something unexpected happens, we like to stand on our own ground and blame others, which makes both ourselves and the other party feel bad. In the end, there is only resentment left for both parties. It is better to follow what Confucius said, instead of spending time blaming others, but focus on improving ourselves. At least this is something we can control by ourselves, and maybe others will be grateful for your tolerance. Wouldn't it be nice to have less resentment from yourself and others towards you? 6. Confucius said, "When we see men of worth, we should think of equaling them. When we see men of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves." This is the way to learn from being with people. Since people cannot be alone in society, we must be in contact with others. The more complicated the society, the more and more people we meet, including good ones or bad ones. Good and bad traits and even results have been shown in others, and we have the opportunity to observe and then develop or improve ourselves. Many times, we can judge whether the people we see are virtuous or not, but we turn a blind eye to our own deficiencies. Confucius' words were just aimed at this situation, and he focused on the words, think and inward examine. Only when we think, we can truly see the virtue and the vice in others, and only when we can introspect ourselves, we can avoid other people's mistakes from happening to us. Think and inward examine are exactly the key to self-cultivation for a person to keep moving forward. 7. Confucius said, "The superior man does not promote a man simply on account of his words, nor does he put aside good words because of the man." We should carefully judge a person's speech and behavior based on objective facts, and we should not be persuaded by one-sided words and make rash judgments. For example, because someone hates a political party, he may hate everyone in that party in everything that party makes. But tarring everyone with the same brush is not a rational choice. On the contrary, if we recommend or believe someone just because we like to listen to his good words, but not based on the facts, it may lead to disastrous results. So Confucius also said, "The virtuous will speak something right for sure, but those whose speech is good may not always be virtuous." It's better to judge based on specific facts rather than personal preferences. 8. Confucius said, "To have faults and not to correct them, this indeed is to have faults." It is inevitable that people will make mistakes. If we make mistakes but just cover up or ignore them, instead of correcting them, or even make mistakes again and again, then it is a real mistake. People should learn and grow from their mistakes, correct their mistakes bravely, and prevent themselves from making the same mistakes again. This is the most valuable experience. 9. Confucius said, "If a man is not farsighted, he is bound to encounter difficulties in the near future." Why? Because everything must be self-inflicted. Problems in the future are always caused by the lack of consideration and preparation now. People should think about the future and be fully prepared. This is not only to prevent troubles but also to seize good opportunities when they come. These are some of the maxims that Confucius once said. Did you learn something? Next video, I will introduce the secret of learning in the Analects of Confucius. If you like Asian classical stories or want to know more about Asian culture, please don't forget to subscribe for more new videos.